1051 FM.
Then there is an added January Plus, January Pro, January Max, and at least 10 days of each, and giving the month about 30 more days as extra. Thankfully, this year, 2020, a year of round figures and completeness, things seem to be on the fast lane. Good afternoon and welcome to City Talks on your number one lifestyle station, City 105.1 FM. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. Last week, we started a discourse on the finance bill recently signed into law, and then it led us to the issue of taxation, which elicited a lot of concerns and questions. We promised that we would bring experts that could deal with the issue from a better intellectual standpoint than the information we had last week. Unfortunately, another very pressing issue took over the discourse in the course of the week. That is the Amotekun controversy. So I'll start today's program by apologizing to the many callers and listeners who cleared their timetable to tune in today to hear us discuss the taxation issue. Since it is just 20 days to Valentine's, the day we celebrate love, I'm hoping you'll understand and forgive us. However, I assure you today's edition of the program will equally be explosive, as we have the singular honor of having in the studio with us two of the most powerful men in the Yoruba traditional institution, Asoju Aare Kakanfo. Barrister Yinka Oguntimehin is here with us. Good afternoon and welcome to the program, sir. We also have the Gbonka Aare Kakanfo. His title sounds almost like my name, Mogaji Gboyega Adejumo. Good afternoon and welcome to the program. I feel like I have a brother, Mogaji, but yours is a title, mine is just a name. Welcome to the program. Well, I know that a lot of talk has gone on about this Amotekun controversy, and a lot of people have spoken in other media houses, but we have our own audience, and they want to hear firsthand from the people that need to talk about this. So let's start with what this Amotekun really stands for. Let me begin with you, the Asoju. I should go to him. Okay. All right, talk to us.
Let me add this to how the introduction came in such a way that people can understand where I'm coming from. I'm also the Publicity Secretary of the Yoruba Summit Group, which is the umbrella body for all Yoruba groups, inclusive of Afenifere, OPC, YCE, Yoruba Unity Forum, Yoruba Patriots Movement, about 42 groups with us on that platform of Yoruba Summit Group. If you remember 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, that we had the Ibadan Declaration on restructuring.
Yeah.
That was the Yoruba Summit Group. Anyway, now we're back to Amotekun. What Amotekun is an ideology. It's a way of life. It's who we are. The name itself talks about the strength in us. People will say it's a leopard, but it's a cheetah. Both are very agile, strong cats. And we wear that as a toga. It's our identity. We want to tell the world that nobody has the right, any which right, to come into our land, destroy our farms, defile our children, rape our wives, and take away our livelihood in the name of grazing. We don't pander to animals. We were not born here, we evolved here. We have scientific proof. 15,000 years ago, the bones of our ancestors were discovered at Iweliri. University of Birmingham came, checked the DNA and realized it's the same DNA with the modern Yoruba. We couldn't have evolved over that period of time to now allow an existential threat to the continued propagation of who we are, to the continued existence of Yoruba. And we have been able to take care of our own. We had a Yoruba empire that lasted for 650 years. That's the Oyo Empire, the biggest in the whole of West Africa. We're not just going to roll over and die to those who came in 1804 wanting to upset our peace. So So Amotekun perhaps it's just a little too late, but we'll take it, we'll build on it, we'll expand on it, and we'll make it work.
Okay, one question comes to mind. Is it that the Amotekun is directed at a particular ethnic group? Because that's one of the fears of people.
It is an immediate need that has to be taken care of. But the Amotekun ideology, identity, is even about us more than anybody else. And I will explain. In the olden Yoruba days, if a woman wants to sell her wares by the roadside, she does not have to be there. She will put the wares and she will put some stones, tokens. Anybody who comes will see it. There is a book that I can lend to you. The Oyinbo man Richard Landa who wrote it said, he was asking, there's nobody to pay for these bananas that I want to buy. Suppose I take it. He said, no, you don't do that in Yoruba land. You saw the number of stones, you will pay. You will take it and go. That is who we were until we were contaminated. We want to go back to who we are. Amotekun is not just about those who come into our farms. Amotekun is intelligence. If you go abroad, 90% of crimes are solved through intelligence. Father will report on the son. Mother will report on the daughter. Community will report on those who don't give them peace. That is the Yoruba. We do not harbor thieves here. We do not harbor insecurity here. We want to go back to who we were. If we were being left alone in the 50s, that we had our own region, it would be better than Dubai that started in 1967. It would be better than Israel that started even in 1948. So Amotekun is a way of saying to ourselves, we go back to our roots. We take care of all insecurities, including the Fulani and every other thing, cult and the rest. And I must tell you this, the Inspector General of Police made it very clear in many publications and in many statements and submissions that without the OPC, they would not have been able to solve the problems of banditry and cultism. Even in Ikorodu, they did the same thing at Festac, using our kind of intelligence. You can't bring a policeman from Yubi who is coming to a place like Okiogun. He does not speak the language. He does not understand the terrain. He does not understand the culture. The people don't trust the police to expect that he can gather information. So Amotekun is to take care of all manners of insecurities and all manners of injustices. In which case, we want to cleanse the land. Those who have formed the immediate existential threat, it is to take care of that. But more importantly, it is to sanitize the community, our community.
Okay, well spoken. Well, let me come to you, Barrister. He has given an outlook for the Amotekun to be all-embracing and all that, but people still have the fears that it's just a branch of OPC, even though he has said he belongs to the Yoruba Summit and all that. So let's clear the air and put that to rest. What is the relationship? Why will OPC even be a name to be mentioned when you mention Amotekun?
Okay, firstly, before I go into your question, I want us to appreciate our governors for standing up to the occasion and for doing the right thing. The man died in name who kept silent in the face of tyranny. Kudos to Professor Yinka. So in the face of the tyranny in the country, especially by herdsmen, the pillaging of people's homes, willful destruction of people's means of livelihood, that's their farms, defilement of young girls, wanton raping of women, and general chaos and criminality. For our governors to have deemed it fit to come up with this initiative, we must thank them. And not only the governors also have the mandate of the monarchy in Yoruba land, also the elders, and who is who in Yoruba land, the southwest of Nigeria. The governors have their backing, and for them to have come up with this initiative, it is very laudable. We must thank them. And they have done so in conformity with the law. As we progress in this discourse, I'm sure we will still come down to some issues. On the question you asked, whether Omotekun is the same thing as OPC, no, we should not get it wrong. OPC, Odua People's Congress, is a socio-cultural organization that was established on the 29th of August at number 110 Ham Avenue, Mushin, Lagos. 9 people were involved in formation. The current Kakanfo Adams was one of them. OPC has, as part of its objectives, the entrenchment of democracy, determination of Yoruba rights, fostering of peace and unity in Yoruba land and also Nigeria, and also the celebration of our cultures, holding symposia, holding conferences to make sure that democracy is entrenched. The concept of Omoluabi, good character, is entrenched, and also to make sure that Yoruba people in the diaspora do not forget about our land. So OPC was also founded to correct the injustices in the system. So OPC is quite different from Amotekun, but Amotekun has OPC as part of the people who will service the new security outfit. We have a group convened by Ibaga near Abiodun Adams. That group is called SSSG, Southwest Stakeholder Security Group. The organizations forming that SSSG includes OPC, Hunters Association, Agbekoya, Vigilante, Yoruba Council of Youths, and also Community Initiative Corps. So OPC is quite different from Amotekun. Amotekun is the right response to the security challenge we have in the Southwest. They are quite different.
Okay, let me come back to you. You said you give, like you were talking, give a very broad outlook. We've heard also that it is not restricted to the core Yoruba states, 6 states. We also have Yorubas in Kogi, Kwara, Edo, and all that. And we hear that these Yorubas are also a part of what you're trying to do to secure a people, the Yoruba people. Now, if this is true, are the governors of those states also in tandem with what you're doing here, or you're just taking a section of people from their state and trying to secure? How is the relationship with those states that are not core Yoruba?
Okay, I love that question, most especially because I'm also a chieftain of the Afenifere. I belong to the highest decision-making body of the Afenifere, which is the National Caucus. And the National Caucus of Afenifere has just about 60, 70 people all over Yoruba land. But then, of course, we have no less than 6 members each from Kogi and Kwara in the National Caucus of the Afenifere. So that should tell you that the Yoruba extend beyond the 6 states.
Yeah.
And we must take particular cognition of that. In fact, one of the top leaders of Afenifere in hierarchy is Chief Cornelius Adebayo, who is from Kwara, and Dr. Oluwayomi Ati from Kogi. And these are at the very top level of Afenifere. Now, coming to Amotekun and the entire Yoruba race and how security affects us. Of course, we have insecurity in Kogi, we have insecurity in Kwara, we have the same menace that we have in all the 6 states occurring in those places. Don't forget that Kwara has 16 local governments and 12 out of those local governments are fully Yoruba without any adulteration. And then in Kogi, we have 4 of Yoruba. So we are not going to simply just fold our arms and say we are restricting. We are talking. And again, on Monday, we have a crucial meeting on this matter. I must be in that meeting at Aare. And we are following this progression that we have started here. And we'll make sure that it goes beyond just the 6 days to accommodate every interest of the Yoruba, wherever they occur, in situ, naturally, such that the security that we envisage for one is envisaged for all.
Okay. Well, you said OPC is more or less just a stakeholder in the business of Amotekun as it is.
Yes.
They are not in control. But who will the Amotekun be answerable to? Who will checkmate whatever their excesses or otherwise will be? Is it the governors or the traditional institution or both? Or there's a separate body that will make sure that they supervise this Amotekun?
Amotekun, just like I said, is the brainchild of the governors of the 6 states in the southwest. There's a commission that was saddled with the responsibilities of drawing the blueprint and bringing before the public domain the whole outfit. That commission is called Dawn Commission, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. So there's a blueprint. The platform was formed in consonance with the Constitution of Nigeria as it is presently constituted. Section 14.2 of the Constitution makes the governors of the states the chief security officers of their domain. And if you listen to the news of recent, the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Rotimi Akeredolu, that's the governor of Ondo State, spoke with the media and said the governors, the speakers of the various houses of assembly of the states of Southwest have endorsed the outfit and that the enabling law have been drawn up. So the operatives of Amotekun are answerable to the duly constituted authority. They are not to pander to the whims and caprices of individuals.
I still don't get, because the fear is that they might be used by the governors for selfish interests.
Can I just say something? You see, those who don't understand what the Yoruba are doing may have to take some lessons. First, we've been at this for no less than 1,000 years. We've had democracy here. We had the Alaafin or the Oba, and we have the Oyemesi or the chiefs. The Alaafin is the executive. The Oyemesi and the chiefs were the legislative houses. And then we had the Ogboni, the Oshugbo, who are the judiciary. We've always had separation of powers. No Oba will rule arbitrarily here. It will be called to order. Rather than even say constituted authority, I would say constituted humility, because our people serve us. They are not feudal lords. It is those who are in those places where maybe the Sultan or the Emir can do anything. In the First Republic, Chief Obafemi Awolowo accused Ahmadu Bello at the London conference and said, you carry people and put them in your private jails and flog them. We don't do that here. The Yoruba have culture. We have civilization. The governors we are talking about are PhD holders. Dr. Fayemi has a PhD in war studies. Aketi, former chair of the Bar Association, Engineer Shema Kinde, Prince Dapo Abiodun, an accomplished accountant, and the rest. Look at Oyetola. We have people who have brought a program. We have a Dawn Commission that have been in existence for some years, working on what is called the economic development of the Southwest. Why are people not asking that have the governors been using the Dawn Commission to fight their own battle? Why are people not asking, have the governors been singly using the Dawn Commission to do politics? We have 5 APC governors and 1 PDP governor, and they have come together, and people are wondering whether they want to use Amotekun for personal gains. How is that done? How can you separate our economy from our security? It is only because we want to enhance our economy that we are protecting our people. Where are the investors today? Within 2 years of this administration, federal administration, do you know how many companies fled Nigeria because of insecurity? A group of companies started with 53 companies. Today, we are barely surviving with about 13 out of 53, largely because of insecurity. We cannot grow and develop without security. So what the Dawn Commission is doing through the governors is to bring security to development. It's to bring security to economic development. It is not about any propaganda, anything outside of the framework. It's not about any witch hunting. It is an indigenous thing thought about by indigenous people who have the capacity to bring security to the people, to bring justice to the people, to bring equality to the people, to bring equity to the people. That is absent in the present framework of the Nigeria that we both know, that we all know, that is failing in all of these aspects.
Okay, in case you're just joining us, the program is City Talks on your number one lifestyle station, City 105.1 FM. We will soon open the lines, but right now we just want to talk and talk. And when we do open the lines, we're sure that you're going to call. The lines are blinking. They've been blinking for a long time, and we would like to take your calls in just a moment. But let me just digress a little bit. It's still on Amotekun, but it's not so serious, maybe. A lot of people are wondering why the eggheads in Yorubas seemed not to have seen the legal aspect of this Amotekun, and they went ahead and did it. It just looks like an average man trying to impregnate a rich man's daughter so that they will allow him to marry her. So the father will say, okay, we don't have a choice. Is that the case? Why did you overlook the things that maybe the Attorney General now called the people who should have known better to go and discuss it before you put it in a framework?
No, don't get it wrong.
So give me
You
the right way.
just like I said the governors are the chief security officers of their state.
Yeah.
So that is the stipulation under the constitution you are currently operating. So if the governors, as the chief security officers, have now deemed it fit to bring up this platform, Amotekun, where is the question coming from?
Why didn't they seek the legal?
Now I will give you sections
background.
I will give you the sections of the constitution that back up their act. Now, section 214 of the constitution says, section 214(1), subsection 1 says there shall be a police force for Nigeria. That police force is the federal police. Section 216 of the same 1999 constitution says there shall be a national police council consisting of the president as the chairman, the inspector general of police, and the governors of the 36 states in the country. Now that council is meant to be in charge of both the appointment of the IG and also the sacking. So it means to a large extent the governors have even been sleeping on their rights as regards the appointment of the IG of police. Now, when you look at sections 24, section 24 of the constitution says that every individual within the geographical entity called Nigeria must see to the well-being of their domain. What is the meaning of well-being? Security. Section 40 of the constitution says there shall be freedom of association within Nigeria, and to ensure that the security of lives and properties, which the governors have done. Now, when you look at it and you take into consideration Article 45 of the Constitution, second schedule, you will see that all these provisions are not contradictory. So if the governors have now come out by virtue of the powers they have under the Constitution to bring out this platform, how can you call it an illegality or that they have overlooked the framework? Now, even when you look at criminal jurisprudence, you look at the criminal code, section 275 of the criminal code says every citizen has a right to defend himself. You want our governors to fold their arms while their people are being killed by marauding herdsmen. Now, section 65 of the penal code, which is operative in the north, and section 32, subsection 2B, says every citizen of Nigeria has a right to self-defense. This is Amotekun. The police is saying they are only licensed to carry den guns that are used by hunters.
Yeah.
You want them to, and the governors have put up this platform to face terrorists who are carrying rocket launchers, who are carrying submachine gun, who are carrying AK-47. And these ones are, the police is saying, okay, you can only use den gun. And some people are frowning at the platform. So you want our governors to fold their arms whilst this criminality continues. In the northeast, the zone is more or less at war. Also northwest. Now, in Kano State, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, you have Isbako. So if Isbako can be allowed in the north, why can't you allow Amotekun in the south? And as far back as 2003, Civilian Joint Task Force, Civilian JTF, was founded in the north. And these are arm carrying organization fighting alongside federal forces against Boko Haram as far back as 2003. Now, as far back as 2007, 2009, Isbako in Kano had 9,000 officers, men and female. About some few weeks ago, Isbako arrested a policeman for taking 3 women to the hotel
and took him to Isbak court.
Yes, and took him to Isbak court. So what are we saying? What is the argument? If you are saying, if the governors and the people of Southwest have said we are bringing up this platform to protect our people and also to secure their lives and properties, why is anybody reading illegality into it? It is very legal.
Okay, don't be surprised when you hear section this and section that. You don't know the section to go to. We're talking, the Asoju is Barrister Yinka. Let me repeat, Barrister Yinka Oguntimehin. So you know how versed he is in the law. But we're concerned. We'll soon open the lines, mind you, if you're listening to us. We're concerned. What were the gray areas that made the meeting an important thing to be held? Because this meeting has just been held now. Let me go to
it's all political. Nothing about it is legal. Let me explain this to you very well. The good book says that we are not fighting flesh and blood, we are fighting principalities. Actually, we are fighting the feudal lords, the Sahelian feudal lords, who do not want the sartorial Yoruba to evolve out of their strong handhold, out of their strong hold on us. That is all. It's not about the law. If we had started with the law, they will have shut it down. Trust me on that. If you had started with the law, they will have found a way to shoot it down. The same way they found to remove Onoge will have been the way they would come and say, you can't do this, you can't do X. Did they call us when they were setting up the Bonu, JTF, and all of these people they were doing in the north, and they were giving them guns? I saw a video, and that day I knew that Nigeria was in trouble. The SSG of Adamawa, and I'm saying this so that I can be quoted. The SSG of Adamawa on video was saying that the Fulani had every right to carry AK-47. Did anybody say anything? Did Malami say anything? where in the law, either canonical, church, Sharia, or even common law of Nigeria, would you find such a regulation, a law, a precedence that will allow a Fulani herdsman to carry AK-77, that an SSG of a state government came out to say openly, and Malami did not talk? Hold on, please. We saw a governor of Katsina with a terrorist. The gun was strapped across his chest with bullets. Which law allows a terrorist to stand with a governor and a governor of a state? And they will come here and be asking us about what law? Well, of course there are laws. And there are still laws. The able barrister here has quoted the Constitution. Let me even tell you that we have in existence the forest guard laws that allows every state of the Southwest to protect the forest, to protect the farms, to protect every part of the Yoruba land, in which case, where we find insecurity, we have licensed arms carrier through the forest guard law to go there and protect those places. So which other law are they asking for? The governors are very, very, very smart. They knew they had put the law forward. These people will come at them. It is now that everybody now knows that this thing has come to stay, that they are now trying to smuggle in the idea of legality. So, okay, you want legality? Okay, let all the state legislators, let them go and do it. And let us see whether anybody will come up with anything again. But I can assure you, the politics behind this goes beyond just Amotekun. It is just a way of some people wanting to continue to lord it over us, to make us appear as if we are second-class citizens in our own land.
Okay, I have a lot of questions to ask again, but I do know that the people want to contribute to this show. So call us on our usual lines. We have 090-9916-4403 or 0700-1051-1051, or you simply tweet at us at City1051. If you want to send a WhatsApp message to us, you can also use 090-9916-4403. It's a number I've already given to you. Remember that we are here in the house with Barrister Yinka Oguntimehin, National Publicity Secretary of OPC, the Asoju Aare Kakanfo of Yoruba land. We also have Mogaji Gboyega Adejumo, the Gbonka Aare Kakanfo of Yoruba land. I hope I got that right. I remember the Gbonka we were reading in The Gods Are Not to Blame in our secondary school days. That's the first contact with Gbonka. So now I have a live one in the studio. So it's such an honor. So call us on those numbers or tweet at us at City1051. Right now we'll begin to take your calls. But keep it short and simple because a lot of people will want to talk to us on the program now. Okay, those are the numbers. While we wait for them to come back on. Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, please.
Good morning.
Yes, state your name and where you're calling from and keep it short and simple.
Yes, this is Pastor Salame from Shumulu.
Okay, so go ahead, talk to us.
Yes, I want to commend your guest there for the job well done. The Lord will continue to be with you. But concerning what we are discussing, I give my full support for this kind of program that our governors have set up. But about democracy, as we define it, is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. So what are they talking about? Is the law greater than democracy, where all of us have agreed that one good thing to happen to our family, to our relations, and we have to wait until all of us become killed. So to me, I believe that our governor have taken that democratic method of ruling our people and make peace to reign. So we don't need any law outside of our within. The law is within ourselves. And within ourselves, we can make a law to protect ourselves.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. Thank you very much, Pastor. Pastor has taken a lot of time, and I hope that the next people who are going to call us will keep it shorter than he did. Okay, make your point in as short a time as possible. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, name and location, please.
Yeah, this is Osajo calling from Ogun State.
Okay, briefly tell us what you would like to say.
Yeah, I want to really greet the barrister in the studio there. The Almighty God will keep you and protect you,
Amen.
you and your family and the entire Yoruba race.
Amen.
The truth is that the blindfolding cast that has been in Yoruba has been removed. I just want to thank God, and this cheating and this injustice must stop in Jesus' name. God bless Nigeria.
Amen to that. Okay, the lines are still open. Tweet at us at City1051 or use the lines to talk to us or send us a WhatsApp message. It's going to be good. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Name and location, please, and keep it short.
Akin calling from Ogun State.
Akim, thanks for joining us. What are your
Thank
thoughts?
you.
Yeah.
And good afternoon to the studio, to the leaders in the studio there.
Good afternoon. to
Good
you.
afternoon.
Thank you. If you have not done anything wrong, why now are you, as Falana fan, telling the state governors to put this thing through the state of our House of Assembly? What should be done first? I'm a Yoruba man here. The program is good, but what should have been the first thing? The law should have been the first thing. Israel that you are talking of today was established during Obasanjo's regime. He kicked against it in 2005. An amended law was made on Israel again. So these people know what they are doing. And we should not come through the back door if we call ourselves Omoluwabi. After yesterday meetings, I think you guys have proved Malami right. So it is not, we are telling, Baba Falana is telling our leaders now to go through the state of House of Assembly.
Wrap it up, please. Okay. Thank you. Well, he posed a question. Why didn't you put the law first? I think you said something very close to that.
Has been addressed.
Yes.
You see, perception is not always reality. Perception can be as flimsy as looking at half a bottle, and somebody will say, "Is it half empty
Or half full.
or half full?" So, what is it? Is it half empty? Is it half full? It's any way you look at it. But if the man that called really knows the kind of engagement that goes on with Nigeria and the kind of mentality that some people have, he wouldn't have spoken that way. We know where they will have come from. Even the one he's talking about, Hisba and Zamfara. Was it all that easy when they were trying to put their political Sharia across? It was a direct thing against Obasanjo. How many limbs are they cutting in Zamfara today? With all the Sharia, what is happening in Zamfara today? They wanted a political thing to fight Obasanjo with. End of story. The Isba thing that they said they have put up, we all know what is going down. Kano remains the place where they said they ingest the most tramadol in this country. So when we are talking about the Yoruba, the fear of the Yoruba and wanting to keep us suppressed is the only thing that will lead to anyone trying to bring up some kind of legality into this.
Okay, hold your thoughts, please, sir. Let's take this call. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Mr. Future on the line from Alabado.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Keep it short, please.
We don't know wasting your time. Among Tekun has come to serve. Yes, the reason why I'm saying so is that you could remember one of our Senator chieftains that they killed sometime last year. My brother.
His daughter.
For now, do you see, we see here about that killing today, who acted that. So I don't know the reason why we should be beating inside the bush. Because somebody said that he wanted to secure his own people from men of the underworld. Then we are arguing that he or she should not do so. I don't know. When we talk of ISBA, did they go through state process, state law? Even the civilian JPA, we have been hearing them for many years. Is it through state legislature before they come into existence? That is what I want to know, please.
Thank you very much. Let me, when we let them talk, a lot of people will really call. But let me put some marathon one to you guys, please. Let's address the rumors, because there are rumors now. As far as I'm concerned, after this talk, I know Amotekun will kick off, not has kicked off, because some things are still being put in place and all that. But let me know for sure that I am not just saying this. Has the recruitment started? If it has, the rumor is that there is a particular religion that can be recruited. There is a particular ethnic group that can be recruited, and so there's some kind of partiality. Is that the case? And if not, who can be a part of Amotekun when it kicks off? Barrister.
That is misnomer is further from the truth. The truth of the matter is that in any average Yoruba home, you have the presence of the three dominant religions there. You have Muslims, you have Christians, you have people of traditional faith in any Yoruba home. So for this Amotekun, there is a blueprint. There are conditions to be met.
Not necessarily religion.
Not now. Just like I told you that in every Yoruba home, any Yoruba home, any average Yoruba home, you have the presence of the three dominant religions there. So it's not a religious thing. It is not. It was not founded based on ethnicity. And the platform, that outfit, is to secure people of both the Yoruba race, the Fulani people, the Hausa, the Bibio, the Calabar, the Igbo. So far, you are law abiding. But if you are a criminal, you will never have anywhere to stay in the Southwest.
But you have to be Yoruba to be recruited, or you can come from any ethnic group?
Yes, it is a platform for Yoruba people. Yoruba people will form the core of the personnel of Amor. After all, ISBA does not have a Yoruba person there. Civilian JTF does not have a Yoruba person there. So it will be founded on the concept of Omoluabi. That's good character. People who you can vote for. We know ourselves in Yoruba land. We know where the criminals are. We know where the hotspots are.
Omoluabi.
Yeah,
I learned something. That's I was seeing political posters of Omoluabi. I didn't know what it meant.
It means someone of good character. Yes.
Okay.
It goes even beyond good character. It's talking about the totality of the ethos of something that is tremendous, that is fascinating, that is closer to God in behavior and in deed and in words. That is the meaning of Omoluabi. Now let me add to what we are talking about regarding recruitment. You see, the hypocrites will come with that kind of a story. ISBA is about Islam, no more, no less. Whatever they are trying to do with political sharia is about Islam. Have you ever seen anywhere in Yoruba land, in history, where the Christians in Yoruba land fight the Muslims? My father was an Anglican priest at a place called Ijebujesha, Nigongo in Ilesha area. When the mosque was bad, they used the church every Friday for their service. Adejumo of Ibadan, he built churches. He had worship in his house. Aare Kakanfo does worship. Aare Kakanfo and I and Asoju have been to Redeem Church together. That is who we are. We don't fight on religion. You have not, even the traditional Yoruba religion. Have you ever seen traditionalists fighting either Christians or Muslims? We don't fight on religion here. We are Omoluabi. Let nobody make any mistake. But again, we are talking about recruitment. Wherefore in this world will you have a meeting, strategic meeting, to make sure that thieves, robbers, rapists do not come into your house, and you now call them into that strategic meeting? Rapists, robbers. Are we now going to call Mietiala and say, come and be part of Amotekun, when they are actually the ones that are killing us, that are making life miserable. You want us to now in a strategic position of making sure we have security, call the very sources of insecurity into our strategic meeting. Did they call any Yoruba man into their hisba? So let there be no mistake.
Okay, it seems from the beginning that the time was so long, 1 hour, but the 1 hour is exhausted already, and I'm sure a lot of people have more questions, more comments to make on this issue. But first of all, before we wrap it up, we'd like to know what is the timeline for this Amotekun takeoff. We need to know that from this time to this time, there will be recruitment. From this time to this time, it will start off fully. We'd like to know that. Now we know who can be a part of it. Now we know the modus operandi.
We are not supposed to be even here to tell you, even if we know. And unless and except, we don't even know the critical, minimal, basic thing about intelligence, about security. That is when we will now tell you this is when it is
when it will start.
But we don't even know. Our job is not to know. We have capable people who are handling this, and we have 100,000% trust in the ability to deliver. Don't forget, and I keep saying this, we are the Yoruba. We produced the first lawyer in 1853, Shakmara Williams. The very first lawyer in the whole of the North was in 1953, and is even from the Yoruba stock of Ilorin. We have produced all the firsts in Africa. So what is Amotekun that we cannot put together and make sure that is a greater success than people will ever dream of? We are the Yoruba. We don't have a problem with capacity. We don't have a problem with capability. When a Yoruba man ruled this country, we know how it was. So wherefore are we now going to be wondering or thinking or asking? We have the capacity. Those who are going to do it will do a better job. The whole idea is, let us support them if we can. And if we do not want to support them, then at least give them a little bit of recognition that they are capable of doing it. And if we still cannot do that, then let there be a way forward, which I will say in Yoruba, Kakaki Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ó ṣe akápò fún màálù, oníkálukú ó yà àṣọdẹ tiẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni o. Rather than for the cheetah or the leopard to be the one that will fend for what the cow will eat, let each animal go and fend for itself. Let each animal go and hunt for its own food. You know what is called a farm? A farm is a place that is either given to you or yours or you bought. Somehow it belongs to you, where you can farm. But you should have a perimeter. Which simply means somebody else's farm will start from where your own ends. Aha! Now you are getting my point. Allah, that is the perimeter. My perimeter, my space, my farm, will determine who is the lazy one between the two of us. You go and do your farm. Let me go and do my own farm. Don't encroach on mine. I won't encroach on yours. At the end of the day, let us see what you will bring out from your farm. Let us see what I will bring out from your farm. That is the true meaning of restructuring. Let each person do his own according to his own capacity and ability. Don't let anybody come and hold us down. Our potential is too great to be limited to whatever arrangement that we have found ourselves in. We are bigger than this.
Okay, you just opened another can, but we cannot use the content now. Restructuring, it's because that's the next thing. When people talk about Amotekun, they talk about the restructuring, which a lot of people have been running away from and all that. But Amotekun, for it to succeed, you need to talk. We have like 30 seconds each. We need to talk to the people who are Yorubas and people who are Yorubas by implication or circumstances. Some of us, yeah. With the Omoluabi by circumstance, So talk to us how we can be a part of this, to make this Amotekun a success, because we are the people. Whether you gather intelligence as you gather, the people must be involved. So in the space of, let's say, 30 seconds or 1 minute, please, can you just, from each of you, talk to the people?
Amotekun has come here to stay. It started operation, and even the mere mention of the name, criminals are already running out of the Yoruba land. And one thing we must also appreciate is that information gathering alone is the core of winning the fight against insecurity. And Amotekun is saddled primarily with information gathering and partnering with the police. It is not meant to substitute the regular police, but to partner with the regular police. So, in line with the constitutional provisions, sections of the constitution I cited earlier, it is the responsibility of every one of us to see to it that there is full well-being of wherever we are. We must gather information, we must relate it to the requisite people, and also to the police. And I can assure you that as Amotekun has come, it has come to stay. And I will round it up with a song in Yoruba. Irọ́ ń lọ mi pa, Yorùbá ò lè parun. Irọ́ ń lọ mi pa, Yorùbá ò lè parun. Àtẹ́wọ́ mo bá là, mi ò mẹ́ni tó kọ́. Irọ́ ń lọ mi pa, Yorùbá ò lè parun. That is, the Yoruba race can never be extinguished.
Okay.
We are here, and we will be here till eternity.
Okay, I knew I was safe because everybody in the studio was smiling, but so I knew that it wasn't something that I should run away from. But in your closing, because even though he has wrapped it up like that, but in your closing, it would be nice, because this is community policing, and the people that belong to Amotekun may even be more approachable than the regular police. So when we want to relate with them, where do we go to? How do we connect with them when that time comes?
You have been here for a while. Have you been harassed in Yoruba land? I asked my Igbo brothers, have you ever had a communal situation between Igbo and Yoruba? We know those who will come and kill you. We don't do that. We are accommodating. I am a Mogaji in Ibadan, and I am lord over 6 villages. My Igbo friends come. The one who does my television, Emeka, he said he wanted to buy a land. I forced the villagers to even reduce the land by 66%. You only paid 1/3. That is who we are. So Amotekun is not about using it against anyone. The Yorubas are accommodating. Every human that lives within our space, we will respect. And the Yoruba traditional hospitality goes beyond all of these things. It is tested.
Okay. It's been a very, very interesting talk this afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, I'd like to apologize to the people who were sitting and waiting for us to talk about the taxation issue that we started last week and promised that we're going to talk about it today. But Amotekun has taken over, and Amotekun has come to stay. We needed to talk to the people who knew or who know about this Amotekun, and we were very honored to have their Asoju, Aare Kakanfo, here with us, Barrister Yinka Oguntimehin. I nearly messed up at the end of it. So thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program. And we also had the Gbonka Aare Kakanfo in the person of Mogaji, Gboyega, Adejumo. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
It's good to be here.
We have not closed this chapter. We hope that we will have you in our studio one more time, at least in the nearest future, so that we can still talk about what is going on and how well we can take all these innovations that are coming. It's been an honor having you. Thank you, and God bless you.
1051 FM.